Okay, so we are going to start with a new chapter today. In the last class, I remember I have told you that we will be starting with functions. Till last class, we have finished what is the flow control. We have finished learning what is the if, then, else. We have finished learning the different types of loops, the while loop, the for loop, the range function, the import, how to import libraries into into your file, and then how to use the built-in functions of a library. All that we have studied in the last class. So we will be starting with a new chapter today, that is functions. Okay, and I've given a little hint as to what is the meaning of a function. As far as functions are concerned, this concept is there in almost all programming languages. A function, by definition, is a set of statements or a block of code that is written separately under a name. And then whenever you need to execute those set of statements or that block of code, you just call it by its name. In programming, you may come across a lot of situations where you need to execute a lot of statements repeatedly. Let us say I want to print something again and again, a set of print statements I need to execute again and again in my program. So instead of typing that print statements again and again in your program, you write these set of statements, print statements, in a separate function. And then whenever in your program you need to execute those set of statements, you just call that function name, and the body of the function will get executed. So this is by definition a function. We have studied functions in all the programming languages in the past. In C programming language also we have the concept of functions. Then in C++ also we have the concept of functions. Okay, almost all programming languages have this concept of functions. It is a very useful technique. It's a very useful facility available in any programming language. In what we have to study in Python also, the concept of functions is the same. Okay, it is not different. It is, the concept is the same. We write a set of statements separately, and then whenever we need to execute those set of statements, we just call the function name, and the body of the function, the set of statements, will get executed. What we have to learn here today is how to write functions in Python. The syntax of writing functions in Python is different. Okay, in C programming language, there is a particular syntax of writing. First, we write down whether it is a private function or a public function. Then we write down the return type, integer, float, or if it doesn't return anything, then we write a void. Then we write the name of the function, and then we open a parenthesis. In the parenthesis, we write the parameters or the arguments, data types of the arguments, and so on. Okay, so that is how we define functions in C programming language. In Python, it is much more simpler. The syntax of defining functions in Python is much more simpler than compared to other programming languages. Here in Python, we use a keyword called as def. We use a keyword called as def. That's it. Def actually means define. Def is a short form for define. We define a function def. We write def is a keyword followed by the name of the function, whatever you want the name of the function to be. Name of the function should always start with a character. Name of the function can contain alphabets as well as numbers, but it should start with an alphabet only. Just like how you define a variable, the name of the function should follow the same rules. Okay, it can contain capital letters, small letters, and all that. It can even contain digits. Underscore also can be used in the name of the function. After the name of the function comes the parenthesis, simple parenthesis you write, open and close. If it has any argument, you write it in between those parentheses. We will see examples of functions with arguments later on. This is a simple example where there are no arguments given, so that's why you can see def, def, keyword followed by hello. Hello is the name of the function, followed by the parenthesis without anything inside it, which means there are no arguments passed to the function, and then followed by a colon, followed by a colon. A colon actually represents the start of the function. Then after that, if there is a function body, the set of statements that you plan to write inside the body of the function, you write it in the next line, one tab space inside. One tab space inside. You know that when you write it one tab space inside, you know that it is belonging to the function. So all the statements that you write one tab space inside after the function definition, this is the function definition by the way, One tab space inside all the statements that you write belong to the body of the function, belong to the function. Okay, now let us directly write an example. Okay, I will write one example, you will understand this. File, I'll start a new file and then I will write, I will define a function here. How to define a function is def define. I will call this function as my function, and then I don't want any parameters to be here, and then I write one tab space inside. I write one tab space inside. So this belongs to that. So I write print it's the first line in the function. Let us say if I want one more sentence, if I want one more statement in the body of the function, I can write even that. So the second line in the something, I'm just writing something. And then what I will do here is I will declare a variable called as n. I will initialize it to 100, and then I will write print. I'll write print n. So how many statements are there in the body of my function? There are 4 statements. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have 4 statements in the body of my function. Why are they in the body of the function? Because I've written it after one tab space inside. So whatever is written after one tab space inside, you can see that they all belong to the function. What will happen if I write this here? If I write that print n statement in the same line where I've defined the function, it is not written one tab space inside. Remember that this print n statement is not part of the function. It is not in the body of the function. It is in the main program. Main program starts from the first line. Main program starts from the first line. So print n now is the statement of the main program, not a statement of the function. Okay, so that you have to remember. So one tab space inside, I will want to write it. So I will write it like that, and I will save this in the D drive only. I will save this as function example.py. Function example.py. So you can see that I've written my function. Okay. Now I want some I want some statements in the main program also. So I will write print. I will write this is the line from the main. This is the line from the main program. This is the line from the main program. See, whatever starts from the first line belongs to the main program. This is the function. This is the function. Whatever is inside the function belongs to the function, and whatever is from starting from the first line belongs to the main program. Okay. And then after that, I will write print goodbye, something like that I will write. So this print goodbye also belongs to the main program. These 2 statements belong to the main program. Okay. Now if I execute this program, see what happens. Okay, so file, I save this, I go to the command prompt, and then here I go to the D drive because my programs are in the D drive, and then I say Python, I write function example.py. Okay, just see what will happen if I execute this program. The program is here, and I'm executing it now. So I write Python function execute. Look at this program, okay, and see what will be the output. Okay, just have a look. So when I executed the program, what do you see? You see that it displays me, this is the line from the main program, and then it says goodbye, and then it stops. It executes the statements of the main program, because I told you that whatever is starting from the first line belongs to the main program, and that gets executed first. Now you will having be a doubt. You might be having a doubt as to why the function did not get executed. Why the function did not get executed? Why these lines did not come? This is the first line in the function. This is the second line in the function. Then print n, it should print 100 here. Why didn't these statements get executed? Okay, you must be having a doubt. The reason why these statements did not get executed is because they belong to a function. They don't belong to the main program. Remember, they don't belong to the main program, they belong to the function. And the body of the function will get executed only when somebody calls the function. The body of the function will get executed, or the function will get executed only when somebody calls the function. In the main program, I have only these two statements. Print, this is the line from the main program, and goodbye. I did not call the function my function. I did not call that function. If I call this function my function in the main program, then the body of the function will get executed. So for example, let us say if in between here somewhere, if I call that function, if I call that function, how to call the function? We simply write the name of the function. We simply write the name of the function. Whenever you want to execute the function, remember you have to call the function. How to call the function? Simply write down the name of the function. That's it. With a opening and closing of brackets, because it is a function, you have to write opening and closing of brackets. Anything that has brackets opening and closing, it means this is a function. It means this is a function. So you just call it by its name and then write the opening and closing of brackets, parentheses. You are actually calling the function. Now that you have called the function, okay, the body of the loop, the body of the function will get executed in this place. So basically what I'm trying to say is that this my function gets replaced with these statements. It's as good as writing them here. Print, first line is function, this is second line in function. It is as good as this only. You understood? So when I call my function, it is as good as putting these statements here. So you don't have to put them here. Simply call my function. So this my function, wherever is there, will get replaced with the body of the function. Whatever is there in the body of the function will simply come here, and those statements will get executed. It is similar to that. It is similar to that. Okay. So call the function or write these statements here. It is one and the same only. That is what it means. Okay. Now look at this. What will happen? So when I execute this program, which is the first statement that will get executed? Of course, this will not get executed because this is a function declaration. This is the first statement in the main program. So this is what will get executed. This is the line from the main program. Then my function is called. The moment my function is called, remember the control was here. It is executing this statement. No? The control will directly jump to the first statement in the my function, and then it will execute this. Then it will execute the second line in the function. Then it will execute the third line in the function. Then it will execute the fourth line in the function. And then immediately after the function, if there is any statement, it will come there and it will execute that. Just like all other programming languages, Python also works in a similar fashion. When I execute the program, the first statement that gets executed is this one, because that is the first statement in the function, main function, main program. And then after that, when I go to the next statement, when the control goes to the next statement, okay, it is a call to the function. So the body of the function will get executed. So the moment the control comes here, it will immediately jump to the first statement there, executes that, then it executes this, then it executes this, then it executes this statement, and then it finds that no more statements are there in the function. It immediately comes back to the main program and goes to the next statement in the main program. Okay, now let us see what will happen. So if I say file, save, I will execute this program. Now you can see that it displays me. This is the line from the main program. So this will get executed first. Then this is the first line in the function. This is the second line in the function. Then it will display 100. Why? Because I'm printing n is 100. And then finally, it displays goodbye, because after executing all the statements of the function, then it goes to the next statement in the main program, executes this, and then it stops the program. It then stops the program. I hope this is clear. Okay, so this is how functions work. Can somebody tell me what will happen if I do this? I call the function once again. Let us see what happens. So file, save, and I clear the screen first, and then I execute this. You can see that it executes. This is the line from the main program. This is the first line in the function. This is the second line in the function, 100. Again, it executes the body of the function because I'm calling it for the second time. I'm calling the function second time, so it executes that function once again. This is the first line in the function, this is the second line in the function, then it displays 100, and then finally it says goodbye because I'm calling the function 2 times. So if I call the function 2 times, what will happen is, which is the first statement in the program, this is the first statement, so this is what will get executed first, then it will call the function, so the control will jump here, execute this, body of the function, then it goes to the next statement in the main program, again there is a function call, so again the function will, control will jump back to the first statement in the function, execute this, and then after it executes all the statements or the function, it goes to the next statement in the program, it executes that and stops. So no matter how many times I execute the function, those many times the body of the function will get executed. I'm just calling it, the body of the function is getting executed. File, save. So I'm calling it how many times now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times I'm calling it. Let us see what happens. Okay, so you can see so many times, 9 times it executed the body of the function, and then finally it displayed me goodbye, and then it stopped. Simple. This is how functions has to be defined. Functions will not get executed unless and until you call it in your main program. In the main program, you have to call it. And where does the main program start? It starts from the first line. Okay, it starts from the first column. You can see it starts from here. This column it starts. If you write it one tab space inside, remember it becomes a part of the function. Whatever starts from the first column, this is columns, no, 1, 2, these are columns. So whatever starts from the first column belongs to the main program. And somebody has to call the function, only then the function will get executed. If you don't call the function, like in this example here, file, save, if I go back to this, and if I want to execute this, you can see that it displays me only this is the first line from the main program and goodbye. I'm not calling the function, so it will not get executed. Though function is a part of the program, this function is a part of the program, since I'm not calling it, it will not get executed. Okay, I hope this is clear, all of you. So this is the concept of functions in Python. Okay, now let us go further. So this is what they have explained here, what is the meaning of a function and all that. They've given some simple examples of function. Okay, in this example, the author has written a function called as hello. In that he's printing howdy. Okay, all that. And then there's a little explanation about the def statement with parameters. Okay, now let us study functions with parameters. Let us now study functions with parameters. What is the meaning of a parameter, or what is the meaning of an argument? Whenever you call a function, you can pass values to the function. You can pass values to the function. You can pass some data to the function. And the function can process that data. The function can process that value that you're passing to it. And then it can process that and you can display the value for that. For example, let us say I want to write a function. Now, this was a simple function. Where it was only displaying some values. That's it. Okay, this function, my function, was only displaying some values. Whenever somebody called that function, what is this function was doing? It was only displaying value. This is the first line of the function. This is the second line of the function. Then it was declaring a variable called as yan, and then displaying the value of yan. It was not doing something useful. This was only displaying values. Now, I will change this program and I will write a function called as sum up. Okay, some name I'm giving. Okay, I'm writing a function called as sum up. And what I will do is, to this function, I will pass some parameters. So whenever I call the function, I have to pass parameters, and then this function will process those parameters and send the value back, or it can display it there only. So what I'm doing is I'm writing a function called as sum up, and I'm passing parameters like a, b, c. Okay, let us say I'm passing 3 parameters to the function. Parameters, when you define it in a function, should be separated by commas. And remember, whenever you declare, this is function definition, you're defining a function here. So in other programming languages, whenever you write the parameters in function definition, you write the data type. In C, you must have written that you write int a like that, but in Python it is not required. You simply write a, b, c like that. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to declare a variable here called as sum, or simply s is equals to S, and then I write a plus b plus c. So whatever parameters I am passing to the function, I want to sum them up, a plus b plus c, put it into a variable s, and then I want to print the value of s. That's it. So what will this function do? If you look at the body of the function, what is this function doing? The function is accepting 3 parameters whatever three parameters you pass to it, it is adding them up, because you can see A is the parameter. So I add A, B, and C. I add them up and put it into a variable, a local variable. I'm defining some variable inside the function. I'm defining a variable inside the function, and the name of the variable is S. In that S variable, I'm adding the three and putting it, and then I'm simply displaying the value of S. So what is the function doing? The function is accepting three parameters, arguments. It is adding them up and displaying the sum. That's it. Now what I will do in the main program is, in the main program, I'm going to declare three variables: X, 100, Y, 200, Z, 300. So I declare three simple variables. I declare, and then I initialize some, I put some values into it, 100, 200, and 300. And then finally, I want to sum them up. So instead of adding X, Y, Z here, I am going to use a function to do this. So I write sum up X, comma, Y, comma, Z. That's it. So I'm calling the function sum up. This function I'm calling, and I'm passing these three. I'm passing these three arguments. So when I pass these three arguments, remember X gets copied into A, X, whatever is the value of X will be put into A, whatever is the value of Y will be put into B, and whatever is the value of Z will be put into C. So X, Y, Z will be added, sum, and then it will be displayed. So I am adding X, Y, Z by using a function. Okay, and this function will not only add them up, it will also display the sum. You can see in the body of the function, I'm writing even print s. I'm even writing print s. So it will not only add them, it will even display the sum. Okay, so let us save this file, save the program, and let us execute this now. This is function. So I will clear the screen and I will execute this. So you can see that it displays me 600. It displays me 600. Why 600? Because 100 plus 200 plus 300 is 600. And who is doing this sum up? It is actually the function who's performing the summing up and then displaying the value also. And it is also displaying the values. So by now you must have understood how to pass parameters to a function. I will write one more example. This is for summing up. I will write an example for average, AVG. Okay, average, AVG. I will call it as average 1. Okay, let us say the name of the function is average 1. So by now you must have understood what is this, what should this function do? It should find the average of the three numbers. Okay, so I'm declaring a variable S, or I'm declaring a variable called as A. Okay, I'm declaring a variable called as AV. Okay, let us say AV only. And then I'm adding A plus B plus C. I'm adding them up, and then I'm dividing it by 3 because there are 3 values. And then I'm displaying AV. I'm displaying AV. So another example. Now in this case, what is the function AVG1 doing? It is finding the average of the 3 parameters. Whatever 3 parameters you pass to the function, it is finding the average of those 3 numbers. So, and then it will display it. So now I have to call that function here. Instead of sum up, I should call AV. I should call the function by writing AVG1, and then XYZ. So these are the 3. So these are the 3 numbers of which the average will be found. Let's see what will happen now. So file, save. So if I go there, execute this, so you can see that the average is 200. Okay, how it is 200? 300 plus 200 plus 100 is 600. 600 divided by 3 is of course 200. 200.0. Why this 0 came? Because it is a floating point number. Because it is dividing, so that's why AV has been accepted as a floating point number. But the answer is 200. I hope you understood. So we have written 2 programs in which we are passing parameters to a function. First one we wrote was to find the sum of the 3 numbers. Second one we wrote program to find the average of 3 numbers. Okay, now let us write a third and the last program to find the square. So I want to find the square of a number. I want to find the square of a number, any number that I pass. So I pass only one value here. Okay, I want to find the square of a number. So for example, if I pass to this function a value 3, 3 3s are 9. So the output should be 9. If I pass 4, the output should be 16. If I pass 9 as the parameter, the output should be 81. So whatever parameter I pass to the function, it should display me the square of that number. Okay, so I write S is equals to A star A. This is how we find this. A star A will give me, or because the parameter that I pass is a into a will give me the square. I keep it into s, and then I want to print that value. So I write print s. I write print s, and then I don't require all these three values here. So I write, let us say I write z is equals to 300. I write z is equals to 300, and then here I write sq, and then I pass z as the parameter. So z gets copied into a star a will happen, and then the square of the number will get displayed. So function example, I've changed file, save, I go to, and then you can see that the square of 300 is 90,000. The square of 300 is 90,000. So it is displaying me the square of that number. For example, if I change this to 3, only 3, I saved the program by pressing Control S, and then now when I execute, it will display me 9 because the square of 3 is 9. What is the square of 8? I save the program. Now it go there. It should be 64. You can see it displays me 64 and so on. Okay, so simple program. Finally, what we have understood and what we have learned from this is how to write functions in Python, how to pass parameters to function. It is not necessary that always you should pass. It is not necessary that you should always pass only integers to the function. You can also pass strings to the function. Now I want to write a function called as wish. Let us say I want to write a function called as wish. To that, I'm passing a parameter called as a. And actually, what I plan to do is I plan to declare a variable here, something like string variable n Naveed, and then I want to call this function wish n. Okay, in the main program, I have a variable called as n, and I've put a string into it. And what is the string? It is my name Naveed. I call the function wish, and then I send n is my name. It goes there a, and then what I want to do here is I just want to simply print a message. Okay, I say w is equals to hello and a, and then print w. So you saw now. Look at this. What is this function doing? It is accepting a parameter. This parameter is of type string, and then whatever string you're sending, you are plus. Why do we use a plus operator? String plus string means it will concatenate. It will attach them. Okay, it will concatenate them. Okay, so after concatenating the name with a message hello, I put it into a variable called as w, and then I print w. So this function basically accepts a name and then wishes you. It says hello Naveed, like that it tells you. Okay, so now let us see what happens if I file, save, and then you can see it displays me hello Naveed. Okay, I'm writing a function called as wish. I'm passing what string? I'm passing a string to it. I'm not passing integers anymore. I'm passing string to it. So this string hello is concatenated with the string that is passed to it. What I'm passing from here is Naveed. So it will concatenate, put it into a variable called as w, and then it will display the value of w. Okay, what if you want to you don't want to put the value Naveed into the program, you want to dynamically take it from the user. Okay, so you can do one thing. You can say n is equals to input print enter your name. Okay, so when you execute this program, the first thing that gets executed is this one. So it will tell you enter your name. Then after that, input function, you know what it does. It will allow you to type something from the keyboard. So you will enter some name. That name, whatever you enter, will come into n, and then you call the function wish by passing this n, and then it will display you appropriate message. The wish file, save, go here, clear the screen and execute. So it is asking you enter your name. So I enter Naveed. So it says hello Naveed. I will execute the program once again. I enter something like, let us say Omkar. So it says hello Omkar. I execute the program. Let us say I enter something like Akshata. Then it says hello Akshata, and so on. I hope you understood the program. The program will read the name from the user, pass it to the function, and then the function will wish you by putting a message hello here. So these are examples of functions where we pass parameters. You can see the syntax of passing parameters. We write the name of the function followed by the parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, we write. And remember that if your function contains, if it takes one parameter, you have to pass it one parameter. You have to pass it one parameter like this. You cannot call the function like this. Now see what happens is, The function here is accepting a parameter. You have defined the function that it takes one parameter. But when you're calling the function, you are not passing anything here. Let us see what happens if you do this. File, save. Okay, so I clear the screen. I enter, and then it says wish, function wish, missing one required positional argument A. So you can see that it displays you an error. It displays you an error. Why? Because the function here accepts a parameter A, but when you are calling it without the parameter. You have to pass it a parameter. You have to pass it a parameter. If it is accepting one parameter, you have to pass one parameter. If it is accepting two parameters, like in the previous example, the sum function and the average function, you know that it is accepting three parameters, so you have to pass three parameters here, and so on. I hope you understood. Okay, so this is about functions, defining functions, declaring, passing arguments to the function. Okay, next is, let us study, we have 4 minutes remaining. It is easy now. The remaining part is the return type. Functions can return some value back. What is happening here is, let us take the examples of sum only. Sum up. The sum of function was accepting three parameters, and then what it was performing was it was doing this A plus B plus C. Okay, it was performing this. Now Omkar is asking a question as to, sir, in case of wish n, we write wish A at the end, what will happen? In case of wish n, we write wish A at the end, what will happen? So you're trying to ask this. Okay, here wish A is there. You're saying that if you write wish A here, if you write wish A there, what will happen? You cannot write wish A here because you have to pass a parameter that is read already. Where are you reading the input? You're reading the name into this variable n. You're reading it into the variable n, and you have to pass n as a parameter here. Now, what you are trying to do is you're trying to pass a local variable, a variable that is not even initialized. The variable n is initialized with the value that you enter from the keyboard. So that's why you're passing that n here. If you write A here, if you write A there, what will happen? Okay, let us see. I also don't know what will happen here. It might give you an error saying that A is not defined. I don't know. Let us check this out. So it will ask me enter the name. So I enter Naveed, and then it says, see here, it says name A is not defined. So you are trying to pass a parameter to wish, but A is not defined. It is saying, where is A in this main program? In the main program, where is A? A is not there anywhere. There is a variable called as n, so you have to pass n only here. You cannot pass A. Okay, so this will not work out. It will say A is not defined. Okay, now let us go back to the same. I think we have less than a minute left. After you people have after this class, I want you to click on the same link and join back for the next class for about 10 minutes. I'm not going to continue more. Please, I'm not going to continue more. Only for 10 minutes I will continue because it is my own class only at 11:20. So I want you people to just click on the same link and join back. Okay, so we'll stop the meeting here right now. Please click on the same link and join back so that I will continue for another 10 minutes. I will explain to you the return type, and that's it. We will stop for today. Okay.